2, 1.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision's The Week That Was, where we cover the news and events for the week ending Friday, September 20th. I'm Paige Ray. Thank you so much for joining us. Our top story, a juvenile has been arrested and an investigation has been opened after a threat was made against a local school last weekend. According to Troy Police, the department was made aware of a social media threat that was made against Troy City Schools. In a press release, TPD saying officers have charged a juvenile with making a terrorist threat. At last report, that suspect was placed in Troy Police Department's short-term juvenile detention facility where they were waiting for further action. Now, Troy City Schools did remain open. No classes were canceled during that investigation. Then, just a few days after that threat was made against Troy City Schools, another local school began investigating its own social media threat. According to a Facebook post made by Pike County Schools, Goshen High received a, quote, vaguely worded social media threat. Law enforcement and school officials were notified of it. To ensure the safety of everyone, Goshen High did go on to lockdown. There have been no other updates besides that the lockdown has been lifted and no threats remain. No word on whether any of those suspects, the suspect from Goshen High and Troy City Schools, no word on whether those two suspects remain behind bars. And staying with safety news, after concerns were raised by a group of neighbors in Pike County, the Pike County Sheriff's Office is working to help them form a group meant to protect their communities. Reporter Camille Coney shows us how law enforcement and neighbors are now teaming up to form a neighborhood watch.
Wednesday night, people from all over the northeastern part of Pike County gathered for a neighborhood watch meeting to discuss ways to increase safety in their communities.
I appreciate these communities turning out like they did. We had well over 100 people here from Josie, Enon, Shiloh communities. They really care about their community and communities, and that showed tonight.
The neighborhood watch meeting came after a member of the Josie community noticed an uptick in crime.
Next door to me, and the gentleman had died, and the wife was in the nursing home, and people were stealing what they had left in their home. And I just felt a concern.
According to Sheriff Thomas, the most important thing residents can do is to be proactive instead of reactive.
People at their residences and their businesses need to install cameras, and you can do it relatively cheap. There's a lot of different devices that are out there and a lot of different prices, and you just have to choose what's right for you.
Church security programs are provided by the Pike County Sheriff's Office. Deputies will come and evaluate the church and the type of security needed to keep everyone safe. Camille Coney, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Pike County Sheriff's Office also offers firearm training to those who are interested. Right now, 2 sections are available. One is in October, the other in November. And speaking of local law enforcement, last month, the Troy Police Department announced the upcoming retirement of Chief Randall Barr. Over the weekend, TPD announcing who would take over once Barr is officially retired. Reporter Belle Johnson introduces us to the man who will soon take the reins.
It is a huge responsibility, and I don't take it lightly.
Danny Barron has been with the Troy Police Department for over 30 years. In a couple of weeks, he will be sworn in as Chief of Police.
Being the Chief of Police is it's a huge responsibility. You're in a sense responsible for the safety of the community and the well-being of the people that live here.
Barron was hired out of high school as a jailer by former Chief Grady Reeves.
I got the bug. I really enjoyed it. When I found that this is something I really wanted to do, I decided I wanted to go to college when I had told myself I never would.
Barron majored in criminal justice at Troy State University and was the first in his family to get a college degree. He encourages others to find what they want to do with their lives and go for it.
I always try to tell younger people that when you find something you're passionate about, it really helps motivate you to do the things that you need to do to help you succeed.
As chief, Barron does not want to necessarily change the department, but add to what has been in place.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. We've got a really good thing here. In police work, you've got to stay on top of technology. We've got really good body cameras. We've got really good cameras throughout the city that's really helped us in fighting crime.
Overall, Barron says he works for the people of Troy and is thankful for the opportunity.
And I'm very appreciative that the council and the mayor has enough confidence in me to give me the opportunity to lead this great department.
Belle Johnson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Barron is expected to be sworn in on Tuesday, October 1st at Troy City Hall. Moving to politics now, the 2024 presidential election is just a few short weeks away, and for students, staying properly informed may prove to be a challenge. Simon Brown has advice from a university organization that's working to help students get the information they need.
Staying up to date about the election is trickier than ever. With so many news outlets to get information from, many young people are turning to social media.
Honestly, I just watch TikTok. It's always on the little For You page, and just like my family, they always talking about it.
Basically like Facebook, social media they always talking about it.
Although students turn to social media for their information about the election, the Office of Civic Engagement encourages students to follow unbiased sources.
I would recommend that students get their information from a variety of sources, from both sides of the aisle, from more centrist sources, just so that they can really get all sides and form their own opinion.
Voting is a constitutional right that all students are encouraged to take advantage of. The Office of Civic Engagement hopes all students will cast a vote in November.
It's important for students to vote because their voice is so valuable. If we don't hear that voice, then there's a great section of our population that's not represented.
Experts say staying informed and exercising your right to vote are important parts of participating in any election. Simon Brown, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The deadline to vote in person for the 2024 presidential election falls on October 21st. For more information, you're encouraged to visit allin.org. And staying with voting news, are you registered to vote? Election day, again, is quickly approaching, and that's why the Office of Civic Engagement is now encouraging all Troy students to get ready. This Office of Civic Engagement is tabling in the Trojan Center all throughout election season. Members want to ensure students are aware that that deadline to register to vote is coming up. At that table, students can scan QR codes to check their registration status and also learn how to register to vote if they aren't already. Students can also sign up for absentee voting. The Office of Civic Engagement is sharing information through its Instagram at Troy_service, as well at Troy_service. Students can get more information about this year's election and the hot topics that are surrounding it.
The All-In website will have students enter their address, and from there it will direct them to their particular state, and they'll be able to follow the instructions provided by their state to get registered.
By the way, the Office of Student Involvement is also trying to help. Their office is open Monday through Friday from 8 in the morning till 5 in the evening. You can find resources to register to vote there as well. And staying with political news, in honor of Constitution Day earlier this week, the College of Arts and Sciences and the Pre-Law Society hosted a speaker who aimed to remind students about one of the most important documents in American history. We're talking about the Constitution. Simon Brown has more.
Troy University welcomed Senior United States District Judge Keith Watkins to campus. During his visit, he emphasized the importance of Constitution Day. Peyton Harrell, a sophomore majoring in political science, says she was reminded of the Constitution's importance and role in society.
I learned that our freedom obviously is not free, but that was really great to be reminded of, and that this is something that we need to abide by, and that it does not just go away, that this is essentially what we need to look back on for our rules and rule of law and everything like that.
Watkins also discussed the history of the Constitution and why students should value it, a message Harrell says she took to heart.
I think it was important for us to be reminded of our history and to be educated on our history, as the Constitution is the foundation of what our country was built on. And I think that is very important for everyone to be reminded of and to know about.
Constitution Day is recognized annually on September 17th. Simon Brown, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Watkins' name might sound familiar to members of the Pike County community. Not only did he serve as the chief judge of the Middle District of Alabama, he also grew up here in Pike County. Still to come on Troy TrojanVision's The Week That Was, September is Suicide Awareness Month. Do you know the signs and symptoms that could be life-saving? We have them coming up. Welcome back. Do you know the signs for suicide or indicators that somebody could be struggling with suicidal thoughts? If you don't, you're not alone. Simon Brown has more on what you could be looking for.
As the month of September shed some light on the topic of suicide awareness, we asked students what they thought the signs of someone contemplating suicide might be.
Well, someone might have like a low mood, or they might start giving their things away and generally like withdraw from society.
I would say crying, emotions everywhere, depression, not wanting to eat, things of that nature.
These are some of the signs that Trojan Outreach says to keep an eye on.
Just a change in behavior, like becoming really irritable, really angry, or really sad. Any kind of intense emotion is something to look out for.
We also asked students how they thought someone dealing with suicidal thoughts could get help.
You just ask someone that you really value as a person and that you really look up to, or you really hold it deeply in your heart, they will sit and talk with you.
I definitely think that reaching out to different resources on campus, different resources, off of campus too, and I think it's very important for other people to know the signs and learn them so that they can also be a resource to help.
There are plenty of resources in Troy for students to utilize who may be struggling with their mental health.
The Student Counseling Center offers free counseling for students as long as they're enrolled in at least 1 credit hour. Also, there's East Central Mental Health and a few other mental health clinics in the area that are very welcoming to Troy students and will work with them to help them get what they need.
Simon Brown, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Students who need help are urged to contact Trojan Outreach. You can call them at 334-808-6806 or email them at trojanoutreach@troy.edu. There is also the suicide hotline, which can be reached by dialing 988. Staying on campus, the Sorrell College of Business brought the accounting world to Troy University, giving students a chance to meet potential future employers. Reporter Will Eldridge takes us there.
Behind me is the Sorrell College of Business's annual Accountancy Day, where firms from all around the country of all shapes and sizes come here to Troy University to meet Troy University students and give them advice on their next steps in their career.
We have 30 to 35 different organizations, accounting firms, governmental agencies, different types of companies come and recruit our accounting majors. So most of the students here are either looking for internships or looking for full-time jobs, and this is a lot of times the first connection they've had with these individuals.
From the outside in, some might believe that accountants are all about the numbers, but it's actually something else that holds the most value.
Networking is a lot of the value of being in college, to meet people, shake hands, start building those relationships. Even if you say, I don't go to work for one of these companies here, you never know 5 years down the road. They might be looking for a CFO or a controller. Having that relationship is only going to benefit me.
For the firms, balanced books are important, but the future of business lies in the soon-to-be accountants.
To be an accountant, you have to understand every aspect of business. It's not just the numbers. To be here is awesome to get to meet the students, to know them, get to learn where they're at, get to evaluate them, potentially for them to come work for our firm. I think Troy's got some great students, got a great program here, enjoyed it. I think that's where these people can take the next step. They get the opportunity, they set the stuff up and get them the opportunity to meet us and set them up for their career.
In the business world, bookkeepers are not librarians. but the accountants that make up the backbone of our future. Will Eldridge, Troy, TrojanVision News.
For many students, college can be a difficult transition. TRIO is an organization that's on campus who's dedicated to helping students face some of those challenges. Wednesday, the organization held a freshman workshop where students could learn study tips. That workshop focused on note-taking techniques and strategies to help students as they navigate classes. Participants were also given handouts that they could take home. TRIO hopes that by giving students additional tools, those students can use them to succeed. TRIO also hopes to provide a comfortable space for students to open up and share any potential struggles so they can have help working through them.
We're giving them a sense of community in a place that probably feels very large and sometimes very lonely. Things like this are very important so they continue to grow and excel in college instead of giving up.
TRIO plans on hosting those workshops monthly. TRIO is open to any student who is eligible through the Student Support Services program. Coming up on Troy TrojanVision's The Week That Was, a Chinese festival works to bring a taste of home to international students and a new culture to domestic ones. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. An on-campus organization dedicated to fostering relationships between international and domestic students put that goal in the forefront earlier this week during an International Student Cultural Organization game night. Sarah Campbell takes us there.
The International Student Cultural Organization brought out the games for a night of fun, laughs, and competition.
We had snacks and we listened to music and played some board games like trivia, loteria, hot takes, stuff like that.
As one of the club's first events of the semester, game night helped ISCO stay true to its goal, bridging the gap between domestic and international students.
And I went to bingo night. I met a wonderful group of Korean and Japanese students that I hang out all the time now. So games really help lighten the mood.
Morgan says social events like this one can help students meet new people they may not have met otherwise. She hopes the club can continue to reach new students and foster international connections.
We hopefully will just get a bunch of people interested in the club and spread our little fingers throughout the campus a bit more.
Before the games began, ISCO also held elections to fill their remaining executive positions. Sarah Campbell, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Now, Troy does pride itself on being Alabama's so-called international university. Earlier this week, the university's Chinese Culture Club brought domestic and international students together for an annual celebration. Liliana Heaton takes us there.
As the full moon rises, families gather in their homes to celebrate one of the most cherished traditions in East Asia, the Mid-Autumn Festival. For our international students, they gather in the Trojan Center ballrooms for this tradition.
Our goal is to bring people together and while having fun, having some Chinese food and just get to know some foreign culture.
Throughout the event, mooncakes were served and traditional Chinese dances were performed by a few international students from China. These performances included traditional dragon and lion dances, guzheng, and popular K-pop songs.
We have opportunities to perform whatever we want to do, such as the last performance. Everybody just gather around the stage. We just show up, stand up, and having fun, I guess. Yeah, back in China, we don't have that the vibe, the atmosphere here.
Not only was this an opportunity for international students, but also for Troy's domestic students.
It's very nice to learn about something you have no idea about
and how someone grew up and the traditions they hold. I think that's a really nice thing to be interested in, and I hope it made some people interested.
Liliana Heaton, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Mid-Autumn Festival falls on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month during what's believed to be the fullest moon of the year. And turning to other news now, while athletes stay fit thanks to their practices, students have the exact same opportunity, but through Troy's Campus Recreation Center. Reporter Neela Cole gives us insight on what there is to offer not only at the rec center, but even through classes.
Whether it's in the morning before classes or in the evening after the rush, students have the opportunity to join a group fitness class. Troy Campus Recreation Center offers yoga, spin party, dance fit, as well as body pump classes on a variety of days and times.
And that's what we aim to do, is provide services that cater to and appeal to all of our students. Those are a service that are provided to the students for a cost of $30 per month. $30 a month provides our students with unlimited access to all of our classes and programs.
While these group fitness classes provide a variety of options to keep your body pumping, they also provide solo options such as walking on the treadmill, using the ellipticals, as well as lifting weights.
So that was kind of the big purpose of these classes, is to provide a service for students to exercise and become a part of a community and find kind of that place where they belong, their friend groups and things like that, but also knowing that exercise plays a vital role in academic success.
A way to get started is a group fitness class where you have a facilitator there to essentially ensure that you're feeling supported and overall coming and doing what you came for.
Students can also join however many classes they would like.
Specifically for my class, Body Pump, we focus on toning the body, building your strength. Our class consists of working with barbells, kettlebells. We do a lot of body weight exercises, and we also do a lot of circuit-based exercises.
To stay on track with the class schedule, charges, and updates, follow Troy Campus Rec on Instagram or call 334-670-3193. Neela Cole, Troy, TrojanVision News.
If you are interested in starting your own group fitness class, you can contact Wesley Taylor at wtaylor230157@troy.edu to share your ideas and set a schedule for that class. Next on Trojan Vision's The Week That Was, a major update in a Trojan football player's health journey. We have the news just after this short break.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
We have some major news from Trojans wide receiver Chris Lewis after he's announced that he is cancer-free. Troy's leading wide receiver last season announced via Twitter that he has officially finished treatments. Lewis was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, a type of bone cancer in his knee, during March of this past year. Lewis is using a red shirt for this season as he continues to serve as a student assistant for the team. Following his announcement, he'll continue his recovery process in hopes of taking the field once again next season. And staying with football-related news, although Troy football fell short last Saturday, the performance of one Trojan is giving fans some hope for the rest of the season. Devontae Ross left Iowa with 3 touchdowns and with earning Sunbelt Special Teams Player of the Week. Gavin Baxley has a look at Troy's new leading wide receiver.
Back at the 23-yard line, moving left, needs a block, gets one. He's at the 30, 35, 40, speed to the 50, down the sidelines. There's nobody there. Not a soul is going to stop Devontae Ross.
That 77-yard punt return for a touchdown against the Iowa Hawkeyes was the moment the emerging star receiver made sure Trojan fans would remember the name Devontae Ross.
That's like one of the first punts I've ever caught since being in college. You know, I was a little nervous, I would say, before, but once he kicked it, I saw it was kind of low, and I was going to be able to have a return. So once I caught it, I just ran left, and my teammates did a great job of blocking and setting up the touchdown.
A junior native of Cartersville, Georgia, Ross had quite a journey before joining the men of Troy.
coming out of high school, I was signed to University of Kentucky, and then, you know, things didn't go as I planned it to, you know, and then Coach Summerall was at Kentucky when they was recruiting me, so he ended up being the coach here at Troy, like the same time when I was looking for somewhere to go, and he ended up bringing me in.
Since his arrival, Ross has learned from Troy greats like former receivers Jabri Barber and Deshaun Stoudemire.
I mean, they were leaders, you know, in our receiver room. You know, some people they had experience. Just seeing them day in and day out, the way they work at practice, you know, building good practice habits, seeing that as a freshman, you know, it showed me like the things that I needed to do to be successful on the field on Saturday.
Now, under new head coach Jared Parker, Ross wants to offer the same leadership through the transition that his previous teammates gave him.
At practice, you know, helping the young guys out, you know, if they need help with things, you know, understanding our offense, you know, understanding how to read coverages, just being able to point them in the right direction, to show them the right way, you know, not just talking but leading by example.
Devontae and the Trojans seemingly finding a spark in the Iowa game. We'll see if they can turn it into a full-on flame this Saturday when they return home to play FAMU. And moving to the volleyball court now, a Trojan volleyball player has been gaining recognition after an impressive start to the season. Hunter Boozer has her story.
Tori Hester is making waves in Trojan volleyball. The senior out of Salisbury, North Carolina, started for the team during her freshman season in 2020 and has continued to be one of Troy's most valuable assets. Recently, she was named Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Week after leading the conference at 68 kills in 3 matches. When asked about the recognition, Hester says it's more of a team award than an individual one.
I think that's a big testament for our team, because I wouldn't be able to get those type of awards if it wasn't for our team. So I think that goes to show our team does a very good job. Janelle and all the setters, getting good balls up for all of our hitters. So I think it's just a team award more than an individual award.
Although Hester leads Troy in kills, she said it wouldn't be possible without her teammates. Junior Janelle Stumpfig leads the team in assists. Hester says practicing against her teammates has been instrumental in her success.
It's very difficult to hit and score in practice because our defense and blocking is just all over the place. So really having that challenge in practice is really good for in-game scenarios for all of us.
Since being named Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Week, Hester has recorded another 67 kills for a total of 135 kills, which not only leads Troy but also the Sun Belt Conference. She also leads the conference in service aces at 15 so far. Hunter Boozer, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Every semester, Troy hosts students from around the world, including international student athletes. Jack Sturdivant introduces us to a few players who are here in Trojan territory after starting their athletic careers on the other side of the world.
The Troy University soccer team currently has 3 international student athletes, with Kat Vassilunas and Gabrielle Chartier from Quebec, Canada, and Une Yorkson hailing from Stavanger, Norway. After playing her freshman and sophomore year at Oklahoma, Yorkson transferred to Troy as a redshirt sophomore.
I think the main difference for me was I had to speak English. I didn't grew up speaking English, so I kind of had to learn a new language. I decided to come to Troy because I really like the coaches.
Another Norwegian seeing success on the pitch is Manchester City's standout striker Erling Haaland, who now serves as one of Yorkson's inspirations.
I grew up playing on the fields where he grew up and playing against his club team, so it's definitely very inspiring to see how good they have become.
Vassilunas, a sophomore midfielder for the Trojans, played her freshman year at Michigan State before transferring to Troy.
First year at Michigan State, it was really hard for me. I was really homesick, and first time I had to come out of my shell, be independent. But then coming into Troy, I felt it was so much easier.
Also representing Canada, senior midfielder Gabrielle Chartier has played her entire collegiate career for the Trojans, including her freshman year when her season was split in half due to COVID-19.
I think I've grown a lot since I've been here, and also school-wise, my English got better, and I also got better on the field, so it's really a plus for me.
Jack Sturdivant, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And that's it for Trojan Vision's The Week That Was. We hope to see you tune in at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Friday. Until we see you again, we hope you have a great week.